I'm Dan Ackerman, and with me is Jason Heiner, who is in charge of reviews and advice here at CNET, and we're here with what we think are some of the best laptops of CES 2020, and I'll tell you why we're talking about these particular guys. It's because we spent a lot of time earlier this week talking about a lot of the concept pieces and prototypes, the folding laptops, the things with double screens and things that pop off. We decided for this show, which we do every year, to focus on the real workhorse laptops that are actually going to come out in stores and you'll be able to buy and do practical laptop-y things.
Yeah.
So,
you know, the cool thing is there's self-driving cars and huggable robots and all kinds of stuff here, but this is the thing you're going to be spending your day on, getting your actual stuff done, right? So it still matters a lot.
And you'll say, okay, I got myself something cool and new, I guess. It's not a robot, but, you know, I can shop online with it.
That's right.
The first one I want to talk about with you is the latest version of what I call a very good iterative laptop, in that it gets a little bit better every year, and they've done that for so many years. It's almost the platonic ideal of a 13-inch laptop, and that is the XPS 13.
Yeah.
I've got the latest version right here, and it's a pretty darn good, very light 13-inch laptop, and over the years they've shaved the bezel around the screen.
It's looking
away.
really good. This thing is really thin and light. I remember when the last iteration of this one came out, you saying, you know, because you've been reviewing these for years, you saying, I've run out of things to ask for. That they keep, you know, the things that we say it still needs, they keep adding, and it's gotten to the point where this is just a really functional, really, really usable laptop.
The big problem always was because the screen bezel was so narrow, they put the webcam down below.
Yes.
And that was the old nose shot, and they moved it back up to the top. So I thought, okay, what more could I possibly ask for? Well, now they've managed to make it an IR camera, so you can use that Windows facial recognition login. And I may be the one guy who actually uses that. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's great. And people have gotten used to it. A lot of the phones, obviously the iPhone's been using it for a few years, Google Pixel now, as well as Samsung. So it's getting to where people are getting used to that, and they know how to use it. There are some quirks with it that you have to know, you know, your face and how far away you need to be and all of that. But once you get it down, it can be just super, super convenient.
And the other interesting new addition for this year is the 13.3-inch screen. It's now a 13.4-inch screen.
That 1/10 of an inch.
But it's something. It's a bigger
big
screen, so you got to give them credit for that, and that's why I continue to love the XPS 13.
All right.
Tell me about this next guy here.
Yeah, so this is the Samsung. I want to get it so you can see the cool red color on this thing. This is the Samsung Galaxy Chromebook. They've put the Galaxy, which is, of course, super popular in phones, they've brought it to laptops. And this thing, I was not expecting to like as much as I did. Obviously, a Chromebook is a Chromebook. In many cases, they're aimed at low cost. You and I both recommend a lot of Chromebooks to people, especially people that are going to be calling us for tech support, because then
they're hard to screw up.
They are hard to, yeah, exactly. And every time you reboot it, it boots really fast, and it's sort of a new deal. But what they've told us, what we've learned is, and looking at the market stats, is more and more people are buying these things, not just in education where they have 60% market share, but to use as their own laptop. So people are wanting, if you're using a Chromebook, you want something that has a little bit of oomph to it and some pizzazz, because still a lot of the local processing still happens on this machine.
You want a nice screen, and you want a nice keyboard experience. Here, flip it around so we can see the keyboard is so great.
Yeah.
And just the contrast there between the different shades of red. Now, of course, a lot of Chromebooks are $200, $300, maybe $400. Yes. We both recommend the Samsung Plus or Pro. They're two mid-range Chromebooks to a lot of people. They have a stylus built in. They're very nice. They're about $400 or $500. How much is the Galaxy
This
Chromebook?
one is $999. So
there's
the rub.
The $1,000 Chromebook question. Companies have tried to solve that for years.
It's true. This is like the spiritual successor to the original Google Pixel.
Yes.
Right? That was a nice Chromebook. Really, really great build. This is half as thin as that and half as heavy.
I like this one a lot better.
Yeah.
This, I would say, I could see this as a $1,000 Chromebook. The old Pixel book, I couldn't really.
It's true. It has a card slot, an SD card slot. It's got USB-C. It also has a stylus, so you can pull it out. For those who are fans of the Note, the Galaxy Note, it has that same functionality. So it is, if you want a Chromebook, this is one of the best ones you're going to be able to buy. If you're a worker, a consumer, and you really want a nice one, this one is the top of the line.
Look at that. Yeah, I feel like everyone who's seen this week has come away very impressed.
Like, ooh. I mean, it's one of the...
This has been one of the kind of like more desirable new laptops here.
From a design standpoint,
that's exactly it. That
one of
counts
the
for so
best
much.
designed laptops in any category that we've seen this year.
I mean, laptops all generally do the same thing, and for Chromebooks, that goes even more so. So good design counts for a heck of a lot.
Very good. All right, so next, HP EliteBook.
Yes, this is the Dragonfly. It's one of their business laptops, and it adds a couple of new features that I think are pretty interesting. First of all, it's got this SureView technology. They've had this in some products in the past, but this is a slightly newer version. So I hit the screen like this, and if you're looking at it from an off angle,
can't see it.
You can't see what's on the screen.
Yeah.
And then boom, there you go. So that stops the old airport, somebody peeking over your shoulder and stealing your password or reading whatever you're writing. That's always a big deal. So that's number one.
I love that feature. I feel like this is one of those things, like, how did we not think about this before? Because there are things, there's times when I'm on a plane and I'm looking at documents or pulling stuff up, and I'm kind of like, gosh, I really hope that there's nobody next to me that, could read some of this.
Dare I say, the perfect solution for open office problems.
Yeah, and open office that's a good point too, because there are times when you have to deal with whatever confidential information. In our case as journalists, sometimes we're dealing with stuff that's under embargo, and we're looking at. That's what I'm thinking of when I'm on planes.
I was thinking more shopping and job hunting and goofing off, but yes, that too.
So yeah.
So if you're very excited about your SureView laptop, but you get so excited, you run off to tell somebody and you leave it behind, you don't know where it is, guess what? This is the first laptop with, you ever see those little tile trackers?
Of course.
That you put on
great.
your keys so you don't lose your keys? This has tile technology built in from that company. So this is a tile trackable laptop. And I would love to see that, frankly, in every laptop, because I'm always losing stuff left and right.
That's another one of those things of like, why didn't we think of this before? It's a pretty small chip. It's technology that's easily integrated into a device of this size. And so what a terrific idea. I think their design, HP's design on these is also really solid. We've given them good marks for a number of their laptops in recent years.
And for a business laptop, this is pretty slick looking.
Yeah, yeah. For a business laptop, very thin, very light. Looks great, and I think it also has a very sort of almost like pinstripe sort of look to it, business kind of look to it.
Oh, very buttoned down, yes.
So
and of course, this guy, at some point in 2020, I don't know exactly when, is going to get a 5G option.
Excellent.
So that is a big keyword we're going to be hearing a lot about this year. So I think business laptops are going to be one of the first places you start to see that.
Some nice innovations in that one.
So way to go, Dragonfly. Now,
all
let's look
right.
at something a little bit more fun here.
Yeah. Big time.
And this is from Acer, and it's part of their line called the Concept D line, and it's really meant for designers and creative types in a very professional sense. This is a Concept D7 Easel Pro, and it's called the Easel, and this is a hinge they've had on a few products in the past. A while ago, really, but I haven't seen it lately. So the screen goes like this. I'm going to do a little click right here, bring it forward,
flippy,
and there you go. You could go all the way down here like this.
Yeah.
It'll fold down into kind of like a tablet, but I just like putting it like right by the keyboard there, and then you can pull out the little stylus.
You're going to draw, aren't you?
And you can draw on the screen. Here, hang on, I got you.
Very
go
good.
to town.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Okay, very original.
Yeah. All right.
CES 2020. Excellent. I'm going to do my little... Every time I try a stylus thing, I can't draw, so I just draw the same little cartoon guy I've been doing since like the 90s. I'll give him a bow tie today.
Oh, nice.
Hey,
nice.
And flippy hair. So these are really aimed at high-end design professionals. It's got an Intel Xeon processor, which you do not see very often outside of
hefty for a laptop.
Yeah. And it's got NVIDIA Quadro RTX graphics, not the regular consumer level. And of course, it's one of those. It's a 4K screen.
Yes.
They have the Pantone certification, but a lot of laptops have that.
Yeah, it's a very marketing term kind of thing. But it's hard to tell on the video. but the screen on this
It looks so
is
great.
really nice. It's really very high definition. It looks very easy. It's easy on the eyes. It's not super bright. It's just the colors are really well saturated at just a really nice level. So I love it has an Ethernet port. I know that's not very 2020, but there are times, especially if you're doing work like this on a big laptop, you're probably dealing with big files, and you're going to love to have a gigabit Ethernet or 10G Ethernet to be able to plug into. It also has hardwired on the side, the HDMI port and display port still. So this really is aimed at high-end designers, engineers, artists, photographers. This is a really nice, if you're
Actually, different ways
nice
to play
laptop.
around with the shape and the form and design things. I mean, that's what we saw with a lot of the folding laptops and dual screen laptops, reimagining the shape and form of a computer, and this does a lot of the same thing by having the screen pop out and be able to reposition itself.
If you're doing a lot of pen work where like you're either drawing, or a lot of photographers do that where they take the pen and they edit their photos with the pen, this is a nice option. It reminds me too of like with Apple with the new feature that they have where you can have your iPad sidecar, and you can use that. It is kind of nice to have it directly on the screen though, and not necessarily have to do it on a second screen or have a second device to be able to do it. So it's a good idea.
And almost every PC company is definitely targeting creatives now.
True.
So it's nice to see cool new designs that take advantage of that.
They buy big laptops, expensive laptops, and they replace them fairly often.
They try to get the company to pay for it, so
that's right.
There's a big budget out there.
All right.
This is one of the cool new gaming laptop designs. There were not a super ton of new gaming laptops here. There's a lot of good gaming hardware, a lot of good gaming innovation, but individual laptops, not that many that really caught my eye. This is one that did, and I specifically sought this out to bring this here. This is the Asus ROG, is Republic of Gamers. It's their gaming line. This is the Zephyrus R14. So it's a 14-inch gaming laptop, and you don't see that very often.
Most
usually
of them are bigger, right?
15-inch or 17-inch. So to squeeze that down into a 14-inch screen size, and this is pretty compact for a gaming laptop. It's actually pretty light also. Feel that.
It is. One of the things I liked, which is sort of strange, is I sort of like the bigger space bar.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to find.
Almost mechanical style keys.
They also did a nice thing for us, if we can see the front.
Oh, it has this cool feature on the back where it has all these little micro spots there.
You can put a custom message up there, your gamer tag.
Or just a pattern of lights and stuff like that. Here, I'll try to catch a little bit of the shadow so you can
so they can see it.
They a little bit there.
A nice ROG CNET on there. Thank you.
So you can program that to put whatever message you want on the back and these little micro lights.
It's kind of fun.
The reason why they're able to get it down this small is they've got a new version of the AMD Ryzen CPU in here. That's one of the new announcements here at CES. So this is one of the flagship laptops with it, and you can get up to a RTX 2060 graphics card in here, which is perfectly fine. I wouldn't want that in my super high-end 17-inch gaming laptop. But for a 14-inch laptop, even a 15-inch, that's perfectly fine. And I play a lot of games on 2060 laptops. So in terms of something different in gaming laptop design, where everything kind of looks and feels the same, I like this guy a lot.
The compactness is really interesting because, there are times if you're a gamer, even, you're not going to want to carry those big laptops those big gaming laptops. They're super heavy, not easy on your back when you're throwing it in a backpack. So like that a lot. Also, again, built-in HDMI, built-in USB-C. So this is a solid rig.
Regular USB.
Also regular
gamers
USB.
are some of the last people who really need all those ports and connections and still want them.
Yeah.
So they're helping keep it alive for the rest of us.
Good stuff. All right.
And then finally, let's talk today about a laptop that really brings into focus a lot of the important trend-setting things that are going on. This is a Yoga from Lenovo. It's a storied product line. That means it's got the 360-degree hinge, and that goes like this. And we've seen these for years.
I love the way that they've innovated this hinge is, I think, a lot better. I remember
it's developed a lot over the years.
Exactly.
Everyone else makes a 360 laptop now, but these are the first guys who really went mainstream with it. And what this version has is, number one, it's one of a handful of Qualcomm-powered laptops, so not Intel-based.
So
and we've seen a
ARM.
few of those, and
Yeah.
they have some real advantages. They run really long, low power consumption. Always they're really built for always-on connectivity, and that's why it's important that this is a 5G laptop.
Yes.
It's probably going to be the first 5G laptop you can go out and buy.
Okay.
And it's the only one so far that combines the Qualcomm, the ARM platform, and 5G. So it puts those two things that we've been talking about together in one product, and it's also a great example of that form.
Yeah, and obviously we haven't tested this yet, but I was impressed that you put it on the list because you've been skeptical of ARM laptops over the years, especially Windows,
Yes.
running Windows.
And I remain so, and maybe 5G will be the combination that it needs to really be universally useful for people.
Yeah, very good. This is a classic brand. Like the Yoga brand has done a lot. It's obviously influenced laptops, as you mentioned, Dan. So it really is good to see. This is another one. The design is really solid. It's another one. It's a little bit heavier than some of the other ones we looked at, but you still have to feel really good when you look at the design of this one. It's got a lot going for it. So. You're going to be pretty happy. You fold this into tablet mode. It's also one of the ones that I feel like where the finish of it is, I could hold this and like read a web page or read something, especially in either portrait or landscape mode and have a good handle on it. That's the hard thing about some of these when they fold over. I don't always feel like I have a good place to put my hands. And because they've been doing this longer, I feel like they have a good sense of making these so that the places that you're going to grab have some nice tactileness to it and get a good grip. It's a subtle thing, but it's something that shows that they've been doing this for a while and are the leaders in that.
And I like they put it in the mainstream consumer yoga line and not just shunted off the 5G stuff and the Qualcomm stuff just to business-only laptops, which are not always as cool-looking and as nice. They just put it in the product that really anybody might like.
It's true. And one of the interesting things about 5G to watch is, the 5G or LTE even today in laptops is a lot more common in Europe and in Asia because they don't necessarily make you buy like a $10 a month plan to your carrier. You can buy a SIM, and that SIM gives you a certain amount of data. Say it gives you 5 gigs of data. That might last you 4 or 5 months. And that's perfectly fine. And a lot of people are more comfortable doing that than adding on another fixed cost or bumping up the price of their already really expensive.
Same thing with the LTE iPads and getting your Apple Watch on the plan and everything.
Yeah.
That's the big question mark about this 5G laptop. The other one, any of them, is what's the 5G service going to cost you per month, because you're adding an ongoing cost to that. And if we had a way to do it, just by a SIM card, that would probably make a lot more sense to people.
Yeah.
That's why I think everyone just tethers to their phone instead of getting an LTE or a 5G connected laptop. I'm always in the cab with my phone in one hand, flicking the sharing off and on, and trying to get my laptop to recognize it. Also, I can use that phone data.
It's a pain because that was one of the things we talked about, the original Google Pixel, which has now been 6 or 7 years ago now. That was the best thing about that product. It was heavy and it was expensive, but it had LTE built in, and the fact that it could easily and it would automatically move between is like, oh, you don't have a very good Wi-Fi connection right now. We're going to flop you over to LTE. And it was really effective in doing that. And so along those lines, and we have a story coming out about this, one of the potential disruptors when we get to 5G and LTE laptops could be Google Fi, because remember they've done some interesting things with data plans, and so they could have an interesting say on some of this in 2020. We'll see how that goes, but look for an article on CNET about that coming up here as we finish up CES.
Cool. Well, we got a great collection here. Thanks to all the companies for bringing these laptops by for us to show off.
Big time.
And that's it for the best laptops of CES 2020. You can find all of my laptop coverage for CES and the year ahead at cnet.com. Of course, I'm Dan Ackerman with Jason Heiner. Thanks for watching.